So we're going to begin by finding ourselves a spot on the floor to lay down. Just lay yourself back. You can have your knees bent here, or you can have your legs straight out, whatever feels most comfortable for your lower back. You can take that moment, just stretch it out. Fidget about until you feel as settled in as possible. Yes. Once you've found that as comfy as possible position, you can just rest your hands on your torso. And we're going to take some nice regular breaths in and out if you can, and you feel comfortable to, in through the nose, out through the mouth. If not, just breathe however is working for you right now. It's all good. You don't have to try and take too full of a breath in. I want you to just bring your attention to the sensation of your breath as it enters your body. It might be you are noticing your breath through your nose as it moves down into your lungs. It could be the sensation of the coldness of the air that you may feel as you inhale. Whatever stands out for you, there's no right or wrong. I'm just noticing that inhale, noticing your exhale. And as you breathe in, I want you to shift your attention down to the rise and fall of your torso. So if you're feeling good about having your hands resting just on your stomach, as you breathe in, bringing your attention past the inhale of the breath and down to the rising of your stomach or ribs as you breathe in, and then the sinking of them as you exhale. So just noticing the sensation of your ribs, of your stomach, expanding and contracting as you breathe in and out. And noticing where you're feeling the most movement through your torso. It may be in your ribs, it may be in your stomach. There's no right or wrong. It's just how your breath is working for you right now. Breath is very interesting in that it can be both a conscious act and an unconscious act. So regardless of whether or not we're thinking about it, we're going to be breathing. But when we bring our attention to our breath, we can start to change the way our body moves as we inhale and exhale. So if you're noticing that you're breathing higher up in your chest and not getting much movement in your stomach, I want you to try and bring your attention and your hands down to just over or around your belly button. Breathing in, and as you breathe in, I want you to try and get your stomach to lift just a little bit. You're not going for a huge breath in here, but breathing in and allowing your breath to lift your stomach. So don't just push your stomach out as you breathe in. I want you to really draw that breath deep in, allowing your stomach to move just that little bit. And that can be a little bit tricky if you're not used to breathing in this way. It might feel a little bit weird. That's okay. New movements often do. Just being mindful you don't have to take a huge inhale here. It can just be a regular use-size breath. We're just changing how our torso moves as we do this breath. Just by breathing in through the nose can be helpful, as it narrows our airways a little bit, which means we can draw deeper down into our lungs with our inhale. When we breathe through our mouth, we tend to breathe just a little bit shallower because we have more of an opening for our air to come in through. It doesn't require the same force or draw in. So if you're feeling good about it, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Really slowly, we're going to lift our arms away from our torso and out to the sides, just hands level with your shoulders here. Your legs can be straightened, or you can have your knees bent, feet flat on the floor, still whatever feels right for you. And we're going to just turn our head and we're going to look to one side, doesn't matter which side. We're going to come back, look into the center, and then we're going to look to the opposite side. Just gently turning our heads, allowing it to go wherever it's going to get to. You might find you get some interesting stretching sensations down your neck, along your arms, or anywhere else you might be feeling tight. Or you might not really be feeling it much at all. That's all good. There's no right or wrong here. There's no place where you should or shouldn't feel this. It's just going to be felt wherever it is with where your body's at. So just feeling good about that. And even if you're not feeling it, doesn't mean it's not a helpful thing to be doing either. So just taking your time here. Turning to one side and then the other. See if you can get your chin to just rest on the front of your shoulder. If that's too much of a stretch, just getting to whatever end point of that head turn that you can get to without any force, and also while keeping your shoulders down away from your ears. Sometimes we shrug our shoulders up, and it convinces our brains that we're moving more than what we actually are. So we want to keep our shoulders down as we turn our heads. Perfect. Coming back to just looking straight up. If your knees are not bent and feet flat on the floor, you can do that now. Settling yourself in. If you want to adjust your hips so that your lower back is just gently pressed into the floor, you are most welcome to. You're going to take your hands, just going to cup them behind the back of your head here. Just nice and gently. And we're going to let our hands take the weight of our heads here. And we're just going to tuck our chin towards our collarbones and gently roll ever so slightly our shoulders up off the floor. We're not pulling ourselves up here, we're just resting the weight of our head in our hands, tucking our chin towards our collarbones. Just allowing that nice bit of a stretch down the backs of our necks. Gentle roll of the shoulders up off the floor can just send that stretch a little bit further down between the shoulders. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Unrolling the shoulders, untucking the chin, laying your head back down. Arms come back out to the sides. I'm just going to take a breath in and out. And again. In, if you can, in through the nose. Out through the mouth. One more time. That's it. Again, hands are going to come behind our heads, supporting the weight, tucking our chin towards our collarbones, and then slowly rolling our shoulders gently up off the floor. Letting your head rest against your hands there. We're not pulling with our arms, we're just supporting their weight of the head. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Unrolling, coming back down. Again, arms out to the sides. Breathing in. And one more time. In through the nose, filling our bellies with that breath. Out through the mouth. I want to take one hand. Does not matter which hand. We're going to reach it up across our bodies, over towards the hand on our opposite side, lifting the shoulder of the reaching hand, turning at the hips, keeping the backs of our hips on the floor though, so that our shoulder comes away from the floor. Coming back down to our starting position. I'm going to do the same thing, opposite side. We reach the second arm up across our bodies, over towards our opposite hand, getting to where you're going to get to, and that could be different on each side based on how much movement you have through your shoulders or back right now. So there's no right or wrong here, just getting to wherever it is you're going to get to. Slowly reversing that movement. Switching sides again. Just alternating here at a pace that feels right for you. Holding for as long as you feel comfortable. So if this is feeling exceptionally stretchy and nice, take that moment, pause there, coming back down, swapping sides. Breathing as you do this, try not to hold your breath. It can be quite easy to do sometimes. One more time, each side, finishing up on your second side. Coming back over to that starting position, arms just out to the sides. Knees are going to come together if they are not together already, and we're going to tilt our knees down to one side, this time keeping the backs of our shoulders on the floor. If this is feeling nice and exceptionally stretchy, you're welcome to take that little extra moment holding this position. When you're ready, you're going to roll your hips back up and you're going to go to the opposite side. Extra bonus if you get little pops or clicks through your back as you stretch this out, so long as they're not painful, that's totally okay. Taking your time here. Just a nice slow pace. Taking your time as you need. Finding those spots where you feel like you're tightest. Just taking that moment to pause there. That's it. Finishing up on your second side, however many times shifting back and forth it takes to get there, and then coming back to our starting position, knees bent, laying flat on the floor. I'm going to roll over onto our fronts, making your way there. Whatever fashion that feels right for you. We're going to come into baby cobra pose here. So our elbows are under our shoulders, eyes are forwards. Okay, just a nice gentle curve through our backs. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just taking your time. Making sure your shoulders are down away from your ears, so you might need to gently press your elbows into the floor just to lift your ears away. We don't want to be sagging here. That's the way. Slowly, we're going to lower our fronts down to the floor. Hands are going to be in front of your shoulders now. I'm going to press down gently on the floor, lifting your chest away, getting to wherever you can get to. If your arms come to completely straightened, perfect. If not, no stress. Holding that top position for just a moment, lowering yourself back down. You can add a little breath to this pattern if you like, breathing out as you straighten your arms, breathing in as you lower yourself back down. That's the way. Two more. Last one. Lowering yourself back down. Coming back onto your elbows here, or you can stay on your hands. We're going to tuck our knees to under ourselves. And we're just going to sit back towards our heels, getting to wherever that is for you. Your heels and hips don't have to be close to each other. Work with where you're at. If you're feeling good about it, just stick into your elbows for the moment, but if you need to, coming up under your hands is totally okay as well. Really work with where your body's allowing you to work to. We're going to take one hand. It does not matter which hand, because we're going to do this on both sides. We're going to take one hand. We're just going to rotate and reach it straight up, pointing our fingers to the roof. We're going to come back down. If you want, you can reach it through the space between your elbow and your knee to that gap, reaching through onto the opposite side. Shoulder comes down to the floor. And we're going to reverse it. Just taking your time here, holding each position for whatever feels right for you. So if you're getting a real nice stretch happening in either position, taking that moment, really enjoying it. We're not rushing through anything here. Just slow and steady. Rotating to wherever you can get to. Eyes on your fingers as you reach up towards the roof as well. When we keep our eyes on our hands, it just allows the rotation to happen a little bit more comfortably. Just taking your time. Resting as you need as well. You don't have to be doing as many of these as I am. We're going to do two more. Last one. That's it. And then just coming back to our starting position. Both hands out in front, whether they're on your elbows or on your hands, it's all good. And we're going to swap sides. We're going to do the exact same thing, opposite sides. So we start with that rotation, reaching up, getting to wherever you can get to. It might be different on this side compared to your starting side. That is totally okay. Reaching through that space between your elbow and knee. If you feel good about that, just taking your time here. holding for as long as you feel good about. Slow and controlled. You're not trying to force anything. You might find the more of these you do, the more you get a little bit more movement. But if not, it's totally okay. Just getting to wherever you can get to on each respective side of your body is all that is important. Remembering to breathe here as well. In through the nose, out through the mouth. I'm going to do 2 more. Last one. Coming back to our starting position. Coming up onto your hands, staying sat back onto your towards your heels though. In this little crouch position here. We're going to look up. We're going to look down, tucking our chin towards our collarbones. Looking up and down. Holding each position for as long as what feels good for you. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more time, up and down. Perfect. Coming up onto our hands and knees. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to arch our backs up. Pressing our hands down to the floor. Rounding through our shoulders. Then we're going to press our belly buttons down towards the floor. Looking up towards the roof. Reversing that position. Rolling through the shoulders. Arching the back. You can hold this position for as long as it feels nice for you. When you're ready, pressing the belly button down, looking up. Just taking time. Slow and controlled here. Just getting to where you can get to, not forcing anything. Do 2 more times in each direction. Last time. Perfect. Coming back to our starting position, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to look around our shoulder here. So we're going to crunch our rib towards our hip to the side here. Look around our shoulder and down towards our back foot on one side. Come back, same thing, opposite side. Crunching to the side, looking around the shoulder towards the foot. Doesn't matter if you can see your foot, doesn't matter where you're getting to. At least with that little bit of a side crunch, you're going to be shifting your weight just gently away from the side you're looking towards. Crunching ribs to the top of your hips. Pushing your hip on the far side gently away from where you're looking. slow and controlled here. Just getting to wherever you can get to. That's it. Perfect. Coming back to our starting position, we're going to take one foot, it doesn't matter which one, and we're going to step it forward up to beside our hands here. You can rest your torso on the top of that leg if you like. If it doesn't quite come up this high, that's fine. Just let it get to wherever it's going to get to, and your hands are just going to stay on the floor. And we're just going to sink forwards into the stretch, allowing your back leg to stretch out nice and long behind you. You can bring the top of your foot to the floor if you like, using that leg under your torso to support you as much as you need. You may feel this through the back of the front leg, through the front of the back leg, combination of both, wherever you're feeling it. It's all good. There's no right or wrong. There's just where you're feeling it because of where you're tight, with the way your body moves uniquely for you. So that's all good. If this is a little bit too much, you can take the pressure off by just leaning your forearm onto the top of your leg as an option as well. So feel really good about finding what's working for you. If you find that more space starts to open up the longer you're holding this position, that's great. You allow yourself to really sink a little bit further in. Being mindful that you want to manage the sensation of the stretch you're feeling to be no more than a 7 out of 10 in stretchy discomfort sensation. Pain is not helpful here. It makes our muscles tighten up, not relax. And what we're really wanting is just find those positions we can get into where we're in a somewhat comfortable stretching sensation position. Forcing things is not going to help. It's not going to do any good for us. We're going to come back off that front leg. It's going to come back down to the starting position, and we're going to swap sides. So we step our opposite foot up. We may do it in one foot. We may do it in a few creeping steps. It's all good. However your body's moving for you, work with that. And again, you're welcome to rest your torso onto that knee if that feels right for you. If that's too much, you can rest elbow or forearm onto the top of your leg there to give yourself a little bit more space. Really work with where you're at. Allowing yourself to sink into this position. You might feel it differently on this side as well. Perhaps it's more stretchy or less stretchy. It's all good, whatever's going on. Just remember, you're not forcing anything here. Letting your body just get to wherever it's going to get to based on the unique ways that it likes to move for you. That is what is most important. Perfect. Stepping that front foot back to our hands and knees. We're going to take one and we're going to step it back behind us. Just pushing our heel towards the floor here. You can use a little bit of a pressure from your hands. Extending that leg, one leg back, pushing your heel towards the floor, getting that nice stretch through the back of your calf muscle, through the back of your leg. Keeping your hands and your opposite knee on the floor there to help keep you nice and stable and supported. And just that gentle pressure through your hands, pushing you back towards your heel and the floor behind you. Just breathing through here, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Holding that position for as long as you feel comfortable to. If you find you need to come out of that because it's tight, then you want to come back in, totally okay. Definitely make it work for you. When you're ready, we're going to swap sides. We bring that leg back, step our opposite leg out, push that heel towards the floor on the opposite leg. And the side may feel different. That's okay. Again, just working with where you're at. Pushing that heel towards the floor. You might find one side is tighter than the other. It can definitely be influenced by our handedness. We tend to be tighter on our more dominant side because that side gets used a little bit more, leading to some tighter muscles. So if you're feeling that's what's going on for you, don't worry too much about that. It's all good. Just breathing through. In through the nose, out through the mouth. If you need to come out of this position, give yourself a little moment. Feel really good about that. You're welcome to hop back in again when you're feeling ready. Definitely don't have to be holding as long as I'm holding here. I'm going to make this work for you. Stepping out, we're going to go back to our starting side one more time. Do the exact same thing, stepping it back. Breathing through. You might find perhaps this time it's a little looser. If that's the case, that's awesome. If not, that's okay. And wherever you're at is perfect. Remember, there's no right or wrong here. There's no should or shouldn't with how your body moves. There's only the way that it moves for you. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Important to remember to keep attention to what our breath is doing, because when we stretch, swapping sides, second leg again, when we stretch it can be easy when we're focusing on things to tend to hold our breaths. The more we breathe, the more we can allow our muscles to relax. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, just pushing that heel back towards the floor. And just taking your time. Again, we're not forcing anything. We don't want this to be highly uncomfortable. It's going to feel like whatever it's going to feel like for you. But try not to make anything move past a position that feels right. Coming back onto hands and knees. And take a moment. We're just going to shake. Give our hands a shake out. Sometimes being on them for a long time can be a little bit intense. So I'm going to take the backs of our hands, I'm going to bring them together and lower our elbows down, but only go so far as you can with your elbows lowering, that the backs of your hands stay together. So we don't want them coming apart. I'm going to keep the backs of our hands together and lower the elbows. And you're going to get to wherever you're going to get to based on how tight you are. You may not end up in the position that I'm in. That's okay. You're going to end up in whatever position that you end up for you. Nothing wrong with that. That's it. Giving our wrists little circles here. And first towards you, circling, and then circling away. That's it. Just opening and closing our fingers. And giving them a little shake. That's the way. I'm going to come back down onto our stomachs now. Lowering yourself down, however it feels right for you to get there. We're going to we'll take both our arms. I'm going to put them out to the sides here. You're going to turn your head to face one way, mainly because you don't want to put your face into the floor. And the way you're looking towards, we're going to take that hand and we're going to bend the elbow and bring it close to in front of us. Our opposite hand is going to stay out behind us, and we're going to use our hand on the floor to roll ourselves up onto our sides, keeping your shoulder down on the floor, rolling away, stretching out through the front of that bottom shoulder, Keeping that arm straight out behind you. You can rest your head on the floor here. Try and relax as much as possible in this position. Just getting to wherever you can get to. Might feel a little bit uncomfortable or a little bit something through the front of your shoulder, even just where it's putting pressure on the floor with the muscle. That's okay, it can happen. Slowly you're going to lower yourself back down onto your front, and we're going to do the same thing opposite side. So we take our second hand, it comes out the side, we roll away to the opposite side, just getting to wherever you can get to. You might find that this side feels different to your starting side. That is totally okay. Wherever you're at with your body is perfect. Just breathing through here. You might find the side's a little bit tighter or a little bit looser. It could even be the same. Just doing your best to relax into this position. You don't have to have your legs in the same position as me as well. It's going to depend on how far across your shoulder allows you to roll as to what position your legs end up in. So if they just end up kind of one knee on the floor and your one leg straight out, that's totally okay. I don't think you've got to achieve these positions that I end up in just because this is how I'm showing you things. Our bodies move differently, and that is going to show up accordingly. Let's swap to our starting side one more time. When you're ready, rolling yourself over. Back arm comes out behind you again. It's the way. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Slowly rolling back over to our second side. One more time. Extending that second arm out behind. And again, just getting to wherever you can get to. Doesn't matter where that is. Don't try and force yourself straight into the end position that you may have been in at the end of the stretch last time. Sometimes we don't necessarily go straight back into that fuller stretch. We might need to just rest a moment in that position and allow our muscles to relax again, allowing more space through the joint. Just breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. That's the way. Slowly coming back down onto your front. We're going to finish off here. Laying flat, you can have your hands crossed. You're just going to rest your head on your hands. And we're going to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just allow your legs to rest in whatever position feels right for them. You can have the tops of your feet resting on the floor. You might find that your heels drop out to the sides a little bit. You can close your eyes if you like. Just breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth if you can. And bringing your attention to the rise and fall of your torso against the floor. Feeling how your body moves. Using that floor to give you that feedback, to notice that sensation, to notice your stomach expanding, your ribs expanding as you breathe in, and how they sink down as you breathe out. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Bringing your attention to that rise and fall of your torso. Feeling yourself being supported by the floor. Allowing your legs to just rest gently in that nice neutral position. Allow your shoulders to relax. Don't let them brace too much. Your arms just nice and heavy here. Head supported on your hands. Just breathing a regular U-sized breath. Taking your time. Letting your breath just come nice and regularly. Feeling the rise and fall of your torso against the floor. I want you to just take a moment, just celebrate you, give yourself a little mental high five. I hope you feel very proud of yourself for showing up, just moving your body in some ways, regardless of how you moved or how much you moved. Just know that it's really great that you've shown up and just done something. Sometimes it can take a lot to do that. So well done. When you're feeling ready, you can begin to start just gently moving your body. You can have a little stretch. Stretching your arms right out. You might want to roll from side to side a little. And when you're ready, you can make your way up to sitting.